We've all been waiting for virtual reality VR applications to make their way into everyday life. It hasn't happened yet, but now with the advent of ultra-fast 5G wireless networks, everyone's expecting this to be the moment for real-time VR applications to work. Renji, at Immersed, you've taken the approach of targeting the enterprise market, still in its infancy for VR. How have you done it differently?
For us, we mainly started with software engineers, right? They're generally the early adopters. A lot of them are gamers. VR actually started in the gaming industry. And so as we've realized software engineers want to use this platform for productivity, we started focusing on their individual use case, and then it sort of branched out to, hey, we want to work with our coworkers in this space to be more productive.
Software engineers are tech-savvy early adopters of things. When you think about the broader enterprise market, isn't there still a big education curve that has to happen here?
In the short term, yes. There are things like controllers you have to try to interact with. We're actually removing a lot of that. We're actually trying to focus on how do we get users' hands in VR. A lot of the cool computer vision technology we're working on enables users to be able to have their hands in VR so that someone like my sister who doesn't game doesn't have to know how to use controllers to interact with the virtual world.
The current impression is whether it's Oculus or Microsoft HoloLens, these types of hardware is what people expect to see. How is Immersed handling the hardware question?
We're creating our product to be able to work on any different hardware that comes out. Whatever becomes the most ubiquitous is what we're going to move on to. So we're not trying to hyper-focus on one specific headset based on our judgment.
Well, being hardware agnostic is very important. That being said, what do you think is the first biggest use case?
The problem that we're solving is mainly going to focus on trying to recreate the highly collaborative in-person experience that software engineering teams have today. So in the office, if we were both software engineers, we'd sit around a desk clump. We would have whiteboards around us, all of our screens. We could point and click. We could type on each other's keyboards. But remotely, chat and video conferencing just doesn't accomplish that same thing. So Immersed is trying to recreate that multi-monitor, whiteboarding, collaborative experience.
What about Zoom and other big video conferencing competitors, as well as software out there like Microsoft Teams, their collaboration software? There's sort of pieces of what you're doing out there. Why do you think Immersed VR is going to be able to conquer all of that?
Microsoft and Zoom, they're really focusing on face-to-face conversations, maybe some screen sharing, but not multiple screen sharing, not whiteboarding. It's crazy that in today's world, we still do not have a remote whiteboarding solution that can be deployed to teams all across the world, regardless of where they live. And so Immersed is trying to make it so that you could just put on, in the future, just AR glasses and be in the same space as if we were physically there and be able to grab a virtual whiteboarding marker and whiteboard as if we were side by side.
I think there's a ton of opportunity in that, but the enterprise market is going to be segmented in a lot of different ways. What do you see as the best first use case within the enterprise market?
I think pair programming, specifically for software engineers. Most of these large tech giants are driven by tons of software engineers on those teams. And as new fresh grads come out of college and want to have remote work benefits, those companies are going to have to cater to that and figure out how do we enable them to have that freedom, but not let collaboration plummet. And so Immersed is going to enable them to teleport into the office regardless of where they live. There's also a solo mode to Immersed where we place you into a distraction-free workspace regardless of what your work is. So the goal is for you to be able to sit on your couch or your porch or at the airport and put on glasses or a VR headset or whatever it is and have multiple screens all around you. So as long as you use a computer for whatever you're working on, you could use Immersed.